US retail sales rose less than anticipated last month, despite the fact there was actually a rise in demand for automobiles and other big ticket items. I have James Marple on the line from TD Bank in Toronto. So James, we already saw disappointing non-farm payrolls. Now, do you think this is the latest sign that economic growth slowed in the third quarter?
Well, we've had actually a lot of mixed signals on growth in Q3. I mean, if you recall back, both the ISM indexes, the manufacturing and non-manufacturing, were very strong. You've had a lot of other sentiment indicators, consumer business confidence, also quite strong. It suggests that activity in the private sector is, continuing to grow quite well into the third quarter. But as you mentioned, we've had payroll growth that was on the disappointing side, and obviously a bit of a slowdown in spending in the second month of the quarter. One thing to note on the retail sales, though, is the July number was revised up, and even in payroll, some of that weakness, July was the weaker month, and August looked a bit better. So, auto sales number, again, very strong. So I think there's enough data to at least say that, we're not sure that there's a major slowdown in activity, but probably much of the same as what we had in the second quarter.
And finally, we saw the dollar strengthen ahead of the results. Now, are you expecting to see tapering next week? And of course, how do you think the markets will be performing at the start of next week's trading week?
I would say that I think that the Fed will taper. I think that's the most important thing, but I think that's largely been priced in, and we've seen such volatility, especially in the bond market. I just don't think that you're going to get another major sell-off in bonds and sort of move up in yields, just given how much has already happened. And I think what you often get is kind of as you get closer to the actual event, it's kind of sell the rumor, buy the fact type of behavior, and we could see a little bit of a rally, see yields come off some of their more recent highs. But the dollar, I think, is going to continue to be a strong story as we move past even in Fed tapering, just given that economic performance in the United States is looking good relative to most of the rest of the world. That's going to continue to gain, I would say. But in terms of tapering, if the one thing that I think is kind of being understated is that the Fed, I think, will seek to balance that with a statement around their forward guidance on short-term interest rates, and especially maybe lowering thresholds for unemployment, or doing something that convinces markets that they still want to maintain, the current stance of stimulative monetary policy even after they've begun slowing the pace of their asset purchases.
James, as always, it has been a pleasure. Well, viewers, do join us again on Monday. See you then.